Here's the third example. And I'm using ease to give the ball some life. We'll take a look at the example when we're doing it without ease, and it looks very rigid and unrealistic. The first thing we'll want to do is encapsulate that bouncing motion. We're doing two things at one time. We are tweening the ball across the stage, but we're also tweening the ball bouncing up and down. So we're going to encapsulate the repetitive motion in a graphic symbol. So the first thing, we'll grab that group, press F8, name this ball bounce, and we'll keep it a graphic. I'm going to change the registration point to the base of that. That'll give us an idea of where the bottom or where the floor is. Alright, so to animate inside that, we'll just double click. We've got a problem. We're inside this ball bounce. That's where we want to encase that animation, but this is currently a group. It's not a symbol, so rules of animation has to be on its own layer by itself. Has to be a symbol. So we're inside the symbol ball bounce, but this is not a symbol. This is just a group. So F8. I'm going to name this ball, and I'm going to change the type to movie clip. If you noticed in the intro of this one, the ball's shadow was fuzzy and blurred out, and that's an effect that you can only apply to movie clip. So I'm going to make this a movie clip. You can certainly have movie clips inside graphics and vice versa, so that's not going to be a problem. Going to change the registration point to the middle of the symbol there. Right, we should be ready to go. Make sure you're not double clicked inside that movie clip. You want to be in ball bounce. So we've got our scene one. If we double click once, ball bounce, and we're going to be animating that movie clip inside ball bounce. So that's where we should be. So not inside that symbol, but inside ball bounce. Now I want this animation to take 20 frames. F5 at frame 20. Create motion tween. I want it to start up. So up and then down on 10 where it's at now, and then back up on 20. So I'm going to eyeball that up here. I believe the measurement is -200 or so. You're welcome to just eyeball it. It's not extremely important. About that area. Then we'll move it back down. And then we'll move it back up. So this is where the number will probably be important. We click that and it says -200, so whatever yours says. If we go here to frame 20, we're assured that it'll match if we use the number. Alright? If you were to test it, let's do that. We don't see it moving. This movie clip is, or this graphic rather, is dependent on the timeline it lives on, which is the main timeline. So we don't see this moving until the main timeline has frames as well, and it'll loop as long as there are frames. So let's go to frame 100 on the main timeline, press F5. That way we can see it moving. And test it again. If you test it again, you'll notice that this is moving in a very non-natural way. Moving at the exact same pace on the up and on the down, making it very, very rigid. So we're going to use easing to fix that. Before we use the ease, I want to use the principle of squashing and stretching, just to make the ball look a little bit more elastic. So on the up, I'm going to stretch that out a little bit. So I'm at 110%. And then when it's at its down part, let's squash that down. Make sure the bottom of the circle is touching that X mark. And then we'll need to stretch this back out to 110. So using the numbers over here makes it a little bit easier to be precise. So that should make it look a little bit more elastic, down and up.